I've got Solange Mougin on set with me now, who's dressed very appropriately to tell us a bit more about Beyonce. Solange.
That's my Queen Bee look.
Yeah, tell us.
It's true that this was a significant night for Beyonce. And it's true that even before winning Album of the Year, Beyonce was already the Grammy Awards' most celebrated artist of all time. She had a record 99, she has a record 99 nominations. Prior to the ceremony, she'd won 32 times, and now she's won 35, more than any artist ever. But most of these wins were not in the big categories of Best Album, Song, Record of the Year, and New Artist. She did win Best New Artist in 2010 for Single Ladies, but there has been much discussion in recent years about why the most sought after prizes don't generally go to her. Last year, her husband, Jay-Z, even called out the Recording Academy when he received a Lifetime Achievement Award, saying, quote, "Even by your own metrics, it doesn't work. We want you to get it right, at least get it close to right." So this may be a bit of a return on that. And I'll discuss the political element of this win in a minute. But Beyonce's album is very much a response to these issues of racism and misogyny in American music, in the industry, and specifically in the country music world. But first, a little bit more on why last night was so significant for Queen Bee, which is how the Beehive, or her fans, call her. When Beyonce accepted her prize for Best Album, she said it with a bit of a giggle, saying it's been many, many years. And indeed, this prize did elude her. She'd been nominated 4 times, lost each time. She is also the first Black woman now this century to have won it, and the 4th overall. Another sweet note, she became the first Black woman to ever win Best Country Album, as you mentioned, which in itself is also a sort of strong message of sorts.
All right, well, let's get a bit more into that message. So the album's called Cowboy Carter. It's a country music album, but it's also been widely praised for breaking down barriers.
Yeah, there is the musical element, of course, the album's mixing of genres, playing around with country music themes like trucks and whiskey and cowboys. Texas. Beyonce is from Texas, while also including historical reckonings and jokes about all of this, and pushing as well the definition of what country music is and what Americana music is and can be, while reminding listeners of the Black and immigrant heritage that helped shape American music. So there is this musical element, but also many people view this album as a direct political response to big country, or the country music industry, which has remained a very white and a very male world. Let me give you a few examples of this. According to studies by the University of Ottawa, the percentage of songs by women that are played on country radio stations was around 9.87% in 2023. The number of songs by women of color was just 0.07 of a percentage point, or 0.07%. Now, the music world is not suddenly discovering this. Back in 2015, there was something called Tomato Gate, which was when a radio host said indeed that women's songs should not be played back to back, but should be the garnish or the tomato on the salad of men's songs. There has been a lot of pushback against and outrage against this, but not much has changed since then. A case in point of this was this year's Country Music Awards, where Beyonce was not nominated in a single category, despite being high up on the country music and Billboard charts. So this album is a response to that. It lays bare the injustice of big country by creating a praised country album. It essentially says, yes, a Black woman can make an excellent country album and stop whitewashing country music. Its roots come from U.S. immigrant and Black history. And that is also a response to the current political situation in the United States, where the president is pushing DEI, or he's purging, rather, DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. He's getting rid of them. It comes at a time when racism in America is on display, and thus the legend of Cowboy Carter, this album, may in turn be a sort of response to it.
Solange, just to wrap up, Beyonce also made some big announcements about the future before the Grammys. Tell us about those.
Yeah, the Queen Bee's fans were expecting a big announcement mid-January, but that was postponed because of the LA fires. There was quite a bit of speculation about whether it would be another album, as this is the second in what is expected to be a trilogy looking at Black heritage in American music. There was also speculation about whether she would announce a world tour or not. Keep in mind, Beyonce is someone who sold 60,000 seats for her Paris show in just 45 minutes.
Wow.
So there's quite a bit of money and excitement about this. But prior to that, to the announcement, there was nonetheless some skepticism about whether a country music album could actually take the global stage and work. And right before the Grammys, Beyonce confirmed that, yes, she is taking Cowboy Carter worldwide, but on a smaller tour with only a handful of cities, at least for now. On her announcement, with its signature code-bending visuals, she wrote, she coming. And Beyonce is indeed coming for the country music world, but she's also coming or stepping out for her fans, too.
And I was also happy to see very quickly there Paris. She's coming to Paris.
Yes, she's coming to Paris.
Thank you so much for that, Solange Mougin, for that look at Beyonce, who had that great night last night at the Grammys. Thank you so much.